Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we will have a brief overview or introduction of Pandas, which is an open source Python library, or we could say Python data analysis library, which is going to help us analyze data using Python. So Pandas is actually a library which could be used to analyze data because it has a lot of high level data structures which can be used to analyze data. So whenever you want to actually analyze data, what you want to do is that you want to extract data from a source like a text file or a CSV file or anything like that. And once you have extracted data from that file, you need to store that data into some sort of data structure. Now, if you already have a little bit of knowledge about programming language basics, then you obviously know what a data structure actually is. But if you don't know what a data structure actually is, it is actually like a container to store the data. So obviously, when you want to analyze data from a particular source, you need to extract that data and store it into some sort of data structure, and later you could manipulate or analyze that data structure to perform a data analysis or manipulation on the data. So Pandas actually provides us with a lot of data structures which we could use, and the most important data structure which we will be using is nothing but the series, which is listed over here. And also you need to learn about a data frame, which is also a data structure which is extensively used to perform a data analysis. So these are actually the two data structures which we will be most commonly using throughout this course. So let's first go ahead and understand what a series actually is. And before learning about series, I just want to point out that if you go to this URL right here, which is pandas.pydata.org/pandastalk, then this is actually the documentation of Pandas. And if you want to learn the nuts and bolts of Pandas, learn everything about Pandas, then this is where you could actually go for. So this is actually a quite exhaustive and the most what you could say important resource which you could find related to Pandas. It actually has a ton of things which you could learn, like the installation, the package overview. It also has the options and settings. It also has how to work with text data and everything like that. So it's actually a quite extensive resource, and as you could see, it also has a bunch of examples as well which you could use to learn Pandas. We will be learning these examples as well, but if we miss some examples, you could go ahead and learn from here as well. So this is another free resource which you could use. And now let's go ahead and learn about the series data structure first. So let's go ahead and learn about series. So as I earlier mentioned, to get started with Pandas, you obviously need to be familiar with the two most commonly occurring data structures, which is the series and data frame. So let's first understand what a series actually is. So a series is nothing but it's actually a one-dimensional array-like object containing an array of data. So if you know about array is nothing but a collection of similar or dissimilar objects. So a series is nothing but it's similar to array, which is a one-dimensional array, and a series is actually an object which contains an array of data. So let's go ahead and try to create a series first. So first what you need to do is that you need to import a series from Pandas. So you type from Pandas import series. Make sure that the S is capital over here. And once you have imported series, you could finally go ahead and create your own series. So let's name this series as SE. So we will type in SE equals, and then you will type in series, and after this in brackets, what you could do is that you could specify square brackets and specify a numerical series, let's say like 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So once this thing is done, and once you execute this code by clicking this button, as you could see, now our series SE is created. So if you want to have a look at this particular series, you could simply type in SE and hit the play button. And as you could see, the series appear right over here. So these are nothing but on the right hand side, which is 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 are actually the elements present in our series, and the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is nothing but the index of these series items. So this is what an actual series looks like. And let's say in the series, if you want to access a particular element located at the particular index position, so let's say if you have to locate 5 in the particular series. So if you have a look at this series, it actually starts from the index 0. So 5 actually resides at index 2. So if you want to extract the position located at the index position 2, what you could simply do is that you could type in SE, which is nothing but the name of your series. Then you could specify square brackets like this, and in single quotations you could specify the index as 2. And once this thing is done, you could simply click this play button, and eventually, okay, I guess I made a mistake here. That should be SE, and in square brackets we should have not specified the single quotations, as this is an integer. So if you hit the play button now, as you can see, you will get a value as 5 over here, which is nothing but the element located at index position 2. And you could also make changes over here as well. And once you make the changes, you could again hit the play button, and as you could see, you will still have the modified output if you modify the code over here in the input. So as you could notice, if we specify the index position of an element, you will get an actual element stored in that particular series. Now, one more interesting thing which you could do with a series is that you could go ahead and instead of having this by default index positions, you could also go ahead and give your own index positions as well. So let's create a new series and let's specify the indexes as well. So in order to do that, what you need to do is that you first need to specify the series name. So let's name this thing as SC2, as series 2. We type this equals series, and after this we specify brackets, and in these brackets first we will specify the elements. So let's say the elements are, let's say 100 comma 200 comma 300. And now let's specify the index positions as well. So in order to specify the index, you give a comma, then you could type in index, and you could type in equals, and in square brackets you could specify the indexes of your own choice. So let's say we specify the first index as A, the next index as, let's say, B, and the third index as C. So once you have typed in this code, and when you hit the play button, this series is going to be created for you. So if you type SC2 again and hit this play button, as you could see, now you have a new series, and instead of the by default index which is 0, 1, 2, 3, now you will have your own defined index which is A, B, and C. So if you were to access the elements stored at the bth index, what you could simply do is that you could type in SC2, which is the name of the series, and in square brackets, in quotations, as this is not an integer, you need to use quotations here. You could type in B, and when you hit this play button, as you could see, you will get an element 200 which is stored at the bth index. So that's it for this lecture, and this was a brief introduction about the series data structure. And in the next lecture we will learn a few more things about the series data structure. So once we are done with series, in the next to next lecture we will start learning about data frame, which is another data structure used extensively in Pandas. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.